Two of my favorite people in the entire company. They are genuine, they are honest, they have the most integrity of anybody that I know, and they have worked tirelessly for decades to help bring the dream of American income life to these people here, and now they're going to help to bring a little bit of that to you. Oh, here we are. Hey there. I would like for you to welcome to the stage David Cohen and Micha Cohen.
There is no such thing as grass being greener on the other side. David is one of these individuals that has simply fertilized his own lawn and figured out how to make opportunity work for him, and he's been doing it for 41 years. And as a result of it, he is the most respected state general agent in the history of this company, period, bar none. You don't yet know how privileged you all are to hear from this man and his son this morning. So please give him a New Jersey welcome, New Jersey love. Let him know how much we love him in advance, because he's about to pour into your lives, and you're going to be blessed. I guarantee it. David, all yours.
First of all, let's get the record straight. I was never agent of the year ever. Okay? As a matter of fact, the first full year with this company in 1978, I wrote almost as much A&H as life, because you would sell cancer plans in almost every home. I actually sold more cancer plans than I sold life plans. But I went out, followed the script, followed the presentation, didn't understand what I was saying, but I followed it word for word. As a matter of fact, after 3 months, I had to ask someone what did the word supplemental meant, because I didn't know. True story. So, to give you a little background, at the age of 13, I was this wimpy kid that couldn't do one push-up, and I decided to go to military school. Why did they take me? I have no idea. First year, very miserable, being in a boarding school, going to high school during the morning, going to camp in the afternoon and evening during training, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to jog at the age of 13, and you ask yourself, what the hell am I doing here? The plan was to become an officer at a very young age. I joined the armed forces in the Israeli army at the age of, before I was 18. I volunteered to the paratroopers or airborne. I became an officer before I was 19. So this was not my plan of life to get into the insurance business. Like a lot of my peers that stayed in the military, became generals, became high officers. I left the military at the age of 25, 24. I was married and had a child, and my wife gave me an ultimatum. It was her or the military, and I think that the decision was pretty quick. My wife was from here, and somehow I ended up in the United States, December 26 of 1976. No papers, no understanding of the business, accepted to UCLA, went to school, and ran out of money. I mean, literally down to, in those days, for those of you that are attending school or just graduated, it was $700 for a quarter as a non-resident student at UCLA, and I didn't have that. So I backed out of school. My brother-in-law was working in this business, and he said to me for the previous 6 months, come to the insurance business, come into the insurance business. Wasn't on the list of things I wanted to do in life. Anybody else? Anybody had that plan to stay in the insurance, to be in the insurance business? No. 3 months to get a license and go out in the field and do what you're going to do. Good salesperson, I wasn't. I could outwork any person around me, though. I did 2 jobs when I started. I worked from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock selling light bulbs. Before that I was an electrician helper, getting $3.50 freaking an hour. Try and feed the family with $3.50 an hour, guys. Okay? No money. Didn't have my mortgage in the bank. By the way, my mortgage was $249 a month.
Wow.
Didn't have mortgage in the bank. So I had to go to work, 3 o'clock to 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, go out and sell insurance. And I was making more money selling insurance in that period of time than going and doing anything else. So it was an easy decision, I'll continue doing it. My first full year with the company, in 1978, I made $27,845. A lot of money for 1978, guys. The next year I was not agent of the year, I was runner-up to agent of the year, twice.
Loser.
Never number one.
You're the first loser.
I told you I wasn't that good. I was just a hard worker. Second year I made $54,000. $54,000, guys. During those days you can buy a home cash. Cash, $54,000. Those were the days, my friends, right?
They're long behind us.
Way behind. My mission was spend 3 years with American Income Life. Those days you got vested after 36 months, vested for 10 years, go back to school. Well, I didn't go back to school. Just one more year, and one more year. In 1982, I kind of almost left this company for the right reason. At least as far as I was concerned, was the right reason. I was there for 5 years, top 5 in the company, number 2, number 5, number 2 for 3 consecutive years, and I couldn't get the promotion. Guys, 5.5 years. I know a lot of you have been here for 2 and 3 months and have seven account numbers, right? I had 1 account number for 5.5 years, 21908. I was just an agent, that's it. And my predecessor decided to leave the company, retire supposedly. That means retirement meant to go to the building next door and go into direct competition with American Income Life. And I was awarded the opportunity to be a junior partner with my then MGA, with Lenny, may rest in peace. Lenny passed away May 3rd, 1983, 7 months after we became partners. So I went from being an agent to an SGA, nothing in between. Never a GA, never an MGA, never an RGA, not knowing what the hell I was doing, learned through the school of hard knocks, making mistakes and making them better and making them better and making them better day after day, living from hand to mouth. I didn't have any money when I started with this company, so it didn't feel bad. So I came in with nothing, I could leave with nothing. And I was offered to go with this other company. They offered me 260% contracts. There's something that's called loyalty and integrity, and I think that too many people don't look it up in the dictionary. They just use those words like they're just out there. Mr. Rappaport entrusted in me to run the organization in Los Angeles during that period of time, and that is what I was going to do. And if I was going to go down, I was going to go down together with the ship.
Amen.
Okay? I think the one mistake that those individuals made is they told me I was going to fail. Well, from where I come from, if you fail, you're dead. In military terms, there is no failure. You're either going to win or you're going to win, because if you don't, then you're dead. And 3 years later, they were out of business. It took 3 years, 3 long years, 3 long years. And they were out of business, and I was still here. Guys, this is 1982, 83, 84, 85, they're out of business. We are in 2018, right? Somehow I'm still here. And I get the question ongoing, why? I'm going to be 67 in October. ¿Por qué? Why are you still working? I don't need to. I don't need to. Renewals is something that exists in this business and you don't get it anywhere else. And it's renewals that I can get, and my kids can get, and my grandkids can get, and so long as the client is going to pay, you get paid. I still have a couple, $3, $4, $5 a month that I get off of the business that I wrote in the 70s.
I hope you all hear me. I hope you all
It is hard for people to understand that. It's hard to comprehend how much you can actually make and how much you can enjoy over the years and over time. My partner, my son, spent his entire life with American Income Life. He was born while I was still working here, or not still, but 1979, I was out in the field writing business. He was born. I don't know when I had time to have babies, but had to set an appointment on the calendar.
December 24th. From what I heard.
All right, we might not want to get too detailed on this one, but that's
Don't know
okay.
anything more than that. And 9 months later, he was born. But seriously, he grew up in the business. When he was a young kid, we were still working with paper. He came into the office and stapled lead cards to the certificates. You understand? They all did something during that period of time. My wife, my daughter, my son. That's how we grew in this business. What's the value of renewals? And it's something that is very hard for us to understand when we start in the business and we're living from week to week, from advance check to advance check, from bonus check to bonus check, and at a certain point you get a check. Why do you get that extra check? Because you wrote the business? No. Not everybody that writes the business collects a renewal check. Because you wrote the business the right way, you sold it the correct way, you provided the service to your client, they will stick with you for a long period of time. So I don't think that we're close to being the top producing agency in the company. It may be number 8, 10, 12, I don't know. I don't compete against anyone else. I compete against myself.
Running your race.
But I will tell you this. The quality of business that we submit over the last 10 years is tops in the company. Better yet.
Number one, just so that you all know. Number one in the company.
Better yet. The amount of renewals per working person in the agency is the highest in the company. We handed out last month over $106,000 in renewal to 80 people that collected renewals in the agency. That's a lot of money. By the way, it doesn't include me. It doesn't include them. Okay? We don't add hours into that count. How do you make that happen? First thing, you got to sell the product correctly. What does that mean? You don't make promises you can't keep. Number one. You don't write business that is beyond a client's means, because it's very easy. You go out there, you haven't written any business till Saturday. Saturday you're sitting in front of a client. He says to you, I have high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer, and you say, no problem, you can qualify. I gotta get the mortgage paid, I gotta get the rent paid, I gotta get the car payment paid. You're gonna try and squeeze that sucker in, right? I mean, we've all been there. Now, it's our job, leadership, all these guys that are MGAs and RGAs and GAs, you need to try and squeeze it in, and our job is to try and catch it. That's the way it goes. And the point is to try and protect you, because what happens is, if you squeeze that business in, it's not going to go through. You will owe that money back. And at the end of the week or the end of the month, on the bottom right-hand side of your advance check or the advance statement, there's something that's called chargeback. What's a chargeback, by the way? I'll give you the definition of a chargeback. Write it down and never forget it. A chargeback is renewals you will never see. A chargeback is
Would you all
renewals
write
you will
that
never
down,
get.
please? Please, because I want all of you to get filthy rich renewals. And right now, you're listening to somebody who can get you there if you act on what he's saying. For some of you, I know you're hearing it, but you're not taking it down as a note. Take it down as a note, what he did, and look at it, because he is 100% on point here today.
I know it's going to go through the back end, not coming from the front, so I don't have to worry about it now. But would you like to collect an extra check after 5, 6, 8, 10 months with this company, or would you like to wait for 5 years? Or maybe
Who wants a
never.
check after 5, 6, 7, 8 months in renewal? Awesome, congratulations. Now all you gotta do is listen and do what he's telling you.
You see, I want to give you an example, and maybe I want to write down some of these numbers because I don't have a board here and I'm not going to use a board for you. If you went out and sold a plan for $100 a month, reasonable. Some people can afford it and some people can't, by the way. Just remember that. So again, you want to stay within a client's means. You sold a plan for $100 a month. $100 provides you with an income of what? Anyone?
1,200 ALP.
That is income to the company is 1,200 ALP.
$100.
Income to you is 600, so long as the policy is issued and paid for the next 12 months. If so, my potential earning is $600, correct? I take home how much? Assuming it's whole life, I take home 65% of the 600, give you quick math, 65% of the total is 32.5%, 65% of the commission is 32.5% of the total premium. So 32.5% of $1,200 equals $325. Is my math correct? Okay. So you're taking home $325. If you're new, the company is giving you an opportunity, so long as you've written over $1,000 during the first 13 months, to collect an extra $200 guaranteed advance, just to break you into the business, to allow you to have those extra dollars for gas, for food, for whatever else you need. Now, keep in mind, we said that your total income is $600. We've paid you $325 plus $200. We paid you $525. If that business doesn't stick on the books, if it lapses after a month, or if it lapses after 4 months, what happens then? I owe it back. Right? It's going to cost me even more. I got to pay the other policies that I sold have to pay that off. So I'd like to keep that business on the books. Is $525 better yet? Let's not talk about $525 because that's only good for 13 weeks. Let's talk about the $325. Is that a lot of money? No. But if I sold 3 or 4 or 5 of those and collected $1,500 or $1,600 or $1,800 plus bonus, which we didn't add to it, because for $1,200 I get a bonus of 6%, am I right? $72 more. $72 more. Now I almost exceeded $600. But if I did that 3 or 4 or 5 times, I can kind of get by. How many of you can get by with $1,500 or $2,000 a week? Can you get by? Not a lot of money, but can you get by? At least pay the bill. I want you to figure this out. When I started with this company, we got vested for 10 years. And I thought it was a lot of money because 10 years was, I was 25 years old, 24 years old. 10 years was a long period of time. Well, today I don't look at this long period of time. The older you get, the faster those years go by, right? But we also get 5% renewal, assuming we're just agents. We haven't gone up from an agent to a higher level, not a higher personal producer contract, and not a management contract. 5% of $1,200 is how much? $60. Not a lot of money, right? But $60 used to be 10, and today I can collect it for 15 or for 20 years, so long as the business sticks on the books. I would like to talk about 20 years. Guys, I've collected renewals from this company since April 1979. I got my first check. And I went to bought American Income Life stock with it, by the way.
Nice.
At that time. So what do you think about this? $60 times 20 equals how much? $1,200, right? I collected up front $325. I have another $1,200 of renewals, plus I have the balance of first year commission. I have the balance between $325 and $600. Am I right? So call it $1,500 plus minus. For 1 week of production out in the field, I have a potential of earnings of another $1,500. What are you willing to do to keep that business on the books? Am I right or wrong? There's something that's called lapses. Anyone like lapses?
No.
I do. I do. When I started with this company, we didn't have a lot of leads. In fact, when they gave us leads, it was 1, 2, they counted nice and slow. They were paper cards that sat in the shoebox. That was the size of the lead inventory. It was a shoebox for an agency. Okay? And the lapses used to come on a pink sheet of paper from the company. Everything was paper. Guys, I know it's hard for some of you to realize there are no computers, there are no cell phones. There was a roll of dimes. So you can go to the payphone. I know people don't know what a payphone looks like. Put the dime in to make it up. Remember those days, some of you? Okay? At the end of the meeting days on a Monday, all the mailboxes were on the wall, and right below there were some garbage cans where people threw their coffee cups and the garbage, and there were a lot of crumbled pink sheet that were thrown into there because no one likes lapses. I took them out and I cleaned them up, and that's when I went to work because there was an extra lead. Here's what they discovered with a lapse. A lapse is someone that bought already.
Right.
Bought once.
Exactly.
A lapse is someone that paid for a while. Is it easier to go and reinstate a policy, or is it easier to go and write a new one? Reinstatements all day long, number one. Number two, somebody that has paid $20, $30, $40, $50 a month for a year or 2 or 3 is already kind of adjusted to it. Is it easier to go and get that person back onto it, or to get somebody that's brand new that never experienced it? No brainer, right? Number 3. It's an individual that hopefully likes this company, right? It's questionable. We'll talk about why people lapse policies. But is it easier for me to collect referrals off that individual? Or is it easier for me to add something to that plan, assuming they like us? Because why do people lapse a policy? One, they changed the bank account, they forgot to notify us. Policy lapses, right? That's by mistake. Number 2, they tried to get a hold of the agent or tried to get service and they didn't get it, so they lapse the policy. It's like a child. The child doesn't get attention for doing something right, they do something wrong to get attention from the parent, right? Okay?
Good analogy.
Number 3, they can't afford it. It's an affordability issue. Okay, so you can't afford $100 a month. Maybe you can afford $60. Let me accommodate you and do that. And by doing that, I'm providing you with service, and I'm going to collect referrals to go to your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friend, whoever it is. That's what lapses are. The company put together a bonus for lapses. Anybody know what the bonus is for going and reinstating a policy? 25%. Sometimes it's a bonus, sometimes it's an advance, but I have certain criteria that have to go with it. It has to be on bank draft, it has to be from the accountant. can be from the same policy. It was reinstated. The bonus before. You guys know all of the above. I don't need to cover it. The bonus is there to kind of give you that extra push to go and work the labs. What's wrong with going and just doing that? Guys, put it simply, one person's shit is another person's gold. You don't want it, I'll take it. That's very simple. You don't want it, I'll take it. It's another place for me to go and call on. It's in the same area that I'm working anyhow, so why not? That is what you need to do, and I think that one of the things, and I know you've been doing well. We've done this 2 or 3 years ago, and as a result of that, reinstatements went up, and they kind of plateaued, and kind of time to wake everybody up to go and do it again. Because God knows, after all the years that this office has been in business and done extremely well over the years, I mean, this guy and these guys together are some of the best you have in this business. They know how to run this business. They know how to run the shop. They know how to make this happen.
Thank you.
But as a result of it, there's a lot of business that is orphan out there that needs somebody to pay attention to it. That is what you got to do. Quality of business. Quality of business doesn't start with a policy that is on the books. Quality of business starts with us underwriting it. So just some quick tips, and then I'll get out of here. Number 1, don't run and write someone that is healthy together with someone that is questionable at the same time in the same house. Because it's always an excuse for the individual that doesn't get issued or declined to use as an excuse to cancel the other one. You write the healthy person, you go back under different circumstances to write the unhealthy person so you don't tie the two of them
Great
together.
tip, right?
Number 2, people withdraw policies most of the time because it's an oversell or too short a presentation. Time yourself going into the home and leaving the home. If you left the home after 20 minutes with a check, not worth anything. Not worth anything. Ask the question to the client more than once about affordability, or what we used to do and today we don't do, because I've never sold the policy on laptop. I don't even know how to turn it on. But we used to hand the check back to the client, or before they sign it, tell them the value of this plan to you and your family is not today or tomorrow, it's down the road when you need it. If this is too much for you to keep over the years, do me a favor and let's lower it right now. I prefer you crawl before you walk, before you run. We can always add to it later on. And even when you're hungry and got to pay that mortgage and got to pay that rent, and it's Friday or it's Saturday and it's Sunday, it's the last day of the week, and you still need to make some money, skip that. Lower it, go make it up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Incompletes. Incompletes come as a result of us lacking medical information of some sort. Most incompleted cases can be solved in the period that the company gives us. But try and be proactive rather than reactive, which means complete the application correctly. Collect the oral exam when you need to. Prepare the client for an exam on every sale that you make, so it doesn't come up that the person says, exam, I didn't think I want an exam, cancel. Don't give them the reasons to cancel. Stay ahead of the game. Prepare them for what is going to happen. Prepare them that the client is going to receive a call from the company asking the questions again. So long as they know that, there's no problem. And the last suggestion I can make to you, deliver policies. Deliver policies. Why deliver policies?
Sell more.
Number one, you can sell more. Number two, you can collect referrals. But I want you to be on the consumer side for 1 second. Somebody made a sale. You never saw the policy. Policy comes in the mail. You open it front page and say, this is not what I applied for. Cancel. Once a person has made a decision to cancel, it's very hard to overturn it. If you come to the home with a plan, with the outline of benefits, and review it with them, this is what we talked about, here's the policy, they will fold the policy up, they're going to put it in the drawer, they're going to collect, it will collect dust for the next few years, and you don't have to worry about it. That's the value of delivering policies rather than just sticking them in the mail or the company sticking them in the mail on your behalf. You may save a few cents on stamps, but you save nothing because all it takes is one policy to cancel that will cost you more than the stamps would have cost you. If for whatever reason you cannot go and see the client, pick up the phone, go over it on the phone, and make a commitment that if they need you, you will go out to see them. So you're either calling before you mail out the plan, or you're going to hand deliver the plan and review it with them. It will save you a hell of a lot more than you think. Guys, I can't tell you that our quality is the best it's ever been. We kind of struggle to keep it above 80% ongoing. We may slide in the next 2-3 months below 80%, but 80% is a lot relative to what we collected up front. Agent collects 65% up front, and if your quality is 80 or 85 or 87%, I want you to understand that you will collect renewals or you will collect balance the first year a lot sooner than later. Hope this helped you a little bit.
Thank you, David Cohen. Come on,
I'd like
guys.
to see this quality go up. Renewal quality
Come on, guys.
has to go.
Give it up. Show him some love. Come on. He just showed us how to make more money. So, grab a seat because I want you to observe something. You can have quantity and everybody say quality and quantity. Quality. You can have both. How? It's your focus. They're in the top percentages. Here, I'm going to close out with this. You get what you focus.
Before you close out, let's just remember one thing, guys. Okay? All your bonuses are predicated on
Quality.
if you don't have quality, you don't collect.
Bonus.
If your quality is higher than 73 or 75 or 80, your bonuses are
Higher.
it's a no-brainer.
You get what you focus on. I'm going to close out with this. This past week, we did something very significant, David and I. We increased the amount of leads that we wanted many of you, if not all of you, to have. As the result of that increase, the average ALP in 1 week jumped 45%. Yeah. No, you didn't hear that. It jumped up 45%. Why? Because you called more people. You sat with more people. You get what you focus on. So keep fighting. Every one of you keep fighting.
Thank you.
What's that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm glad you appreciate it. I meet people around me who are grateful like I am. This is a grateful man right here. I'm grateful. I pray to God all of you are grateful. We're going to continue to give you more. You want more? How many of you want more? You want more? Okay. All right. So we know the formula. What we need from you is total commitment to the leads that we give you. Start at 1 in the afternoon, gang. Don't go to your first appointment. Go out there, bang on those doors of those people who you haven't set an appointment with. Try to get in an appointment in the afternoon. Make it a habit. Life is about forming great habits. So get out there at 1 o'clock and don't come home. If you're single, stop partying Friday night and party Saturday night. Go to bed. Hello? Turn to the person next to you. If they're single, say, go to sleep early on Friday, please. So that you can wake up early on Saturday. Okay? So you can wake up early on Saturday. It's all about habits. Form the habit of having goals every single day. Follow your goals. follow your dreams, make it a habit, see more people, make more presentations, and guess what happens? More sales, more renewals, more of everything we want. I'm expecting continued increase. What are you expecting? Let's get it. Matt, you want to close this out?